Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V. We are deeply into December now, and it is cold, it is dark, it is miserable, and even if you don't celebrate Christmas or any other holiday at this time of year, it is still really exhausting. It feels like the year's been going forever and ever, and we just need to have a break. And so today I thought I would read you a story. I hadn't decided which one I was going to read you until I was contacted by Purple Queen Publishing, who published Slipping Through. This is an anthology that I did with Miranda Kate, Michael Wombat and K.R. Smith. I have read to you from it before, but I got a message from the publisher to say that it is currently free for the whole of December for you to download on your Kindle. So I'm going to read you a story from that one today, and then I will pop a link to where you can download it for free in both the description and the pinned comment. The pinned comment might take a couple of hours to appear because I schedule it for before I'm awake. So I'm going to read you a story from Slipping Through. I'm reading you one of the stories that I wrote for this anthology. You might remember Miranda Kate being on my channel before, talking about her self-help book. Some of her stories appear in here. Michael Wombat, excellent author, lots of his stories appear in here. K.R. Smith's stories, brilliant as well, and much of them are a lot better than mine, to be honest with you, but I didn't have the permission to read their stories, so I am going to read you another one of mine. I have read you one of mine before on here, and I can't remember which one I read you, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the one that I'm going to do today, which is a very quick short story, and it's called In the Liminal. The theme for this collection, Slipping Through, was time travel, parallel universes, other dimensions, that sort of thing. And so all of the stories explore something around that area, afterlives, time travel, all that sort of thing. And so I gave this story, as well as a few others, to the collection because it is set in the liminal space between worlds. So this story is called In the Liminal. Are you sitting comfy? And I'll begin. If you're old enough to understand that reference, you're much older than me, don't pretend you're not. In the Liminal. When you die, there is a light. That part people have got right. Everything else, well, it's a bit tricky to explain to a human. No offence, but your senses are really quite limited. We do our best to make it easy on you, but often we use, let's just say, visual metaphors. Not illusions as such, but stories to help you come to terms with the incomprehensible. So we start with the blinding light. It's a little disorienting. I'm not surprised that's all people who get resuscitated remember about it. If you see the light but get pulled back into your meat suit, you don't really have time for your senses to adjust to the death plane, so all you remember is the light. After the light, there comes the darkness. That's generally when people realise that they're dead, actually. When you're in the darkness, you recall your past deeds, and that can be painful, panic-inducing even, because a lot of them think that they're stuck there forever. To be fair, some of them are. The darkness lifts only when you're ready to move forward, and that means accepting your own internal darkness. For some of you, that's just too hard. I used to come back here sometimes and listen to the wailing when I was a new recruit. You want to comfort them, but they can't perceive you at that stage, so there's no point. You just upset yourself. You can help them later, though, when they get to the corridor. I know it seems bland, anticlimactic even, but that's actually very calculated. It's grayscale and virtually featureless, just your standard, everyday corridor with doors leading off the sides. For the overwhelming majority of humans, it's familiar, maybe even comforting after the piercing light and the whispering darkness. And yet, some do just sit there and go all catatonic, but the majority of them will at some point start to walk and try a door or two. Behind the doors? Depends really. On their faith, on their deeds, on what the God that's claimed their soul wants from them. No, don't touch that one. You do not want to go through the emergency exit, trust me on this. Terrible fate to happen to any soul, however evil they might have been. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, doors. Broadly speaking, I suppose you could say that behind the doors are lessons and tests. At some point, when they've been through enough doors and their gods are satisfied, a new door will open up, a special one, and it will be opened by an emissary from their deity, and their soul will pass on to their afterlife of choice. Now I know what you're going to say. What about all those atheists? They're not actually that much of a problem, really, though it was an absolute embuggerance of paperwork when it first started getting all trendy. But once we figured out that in the depths of their soul, most atheists think of death as the great big sleep, it was easy. Once they've done a few doors, we subtly nudge them towards a door with a great big bed with fresh clean sheets and a nice comfy pillow, and we leave them there to slumber. Job done. No, what's really causing a logistical nightmare right now is people like you, full offence intended. Bloody agnostics, you're a pain in my arse. You may believe something, but maybe you don't, and all you really believe is that it'll all get sorted out somehow after you die. And who has to sort that mess out? Muggins here, that's who. There's pressure on every afterlife to take in agnostic asylum seekers, and sometimes if you have strong familial link, they'll let you in. But honestly, applying for citizenship is a nightmare, and it's all a bit political. And the soul sanctuaries, well, refugee camps really, are full to bursting. We got some buses in and converted them into temporary accommodation, but even they're standing room only now. So anyway, I was reviewing some case files of your life, and I quite like the cut of your jib. Besides, you're quiet, and I can't be doing with any chit-chat really. So I pulled you out of all that nonsense, bypassed all the performance with the doors because I can't be bothered coming up with tests for you, and for now you're going to be working here, with me, in the Liminal. It's an easy enough job really, as I say. Just stay out of the darkness, don't give any angels any lip because they're arseholes and they will report you, and keep the humans away from the emergency exits. I cannot stress that enough. Oh, and mine's a tea with too. Just a little splash of milk. Kettle's down the corridor. I hope you enjoyed that story. It was just a quick little one for you, give you a bit of 5 minutes peace and quiet, sit down with a cuppa. I actually wrote that as part of an exploratory exercise for the very first novel that I wrote that will never ever see the light of day because it was awful. Maybe one day I might return to the concept of soul buses and agnostics causing logistic nightmares, but for now, that short is enough. So like I said, you can get your copy of Slipping Through absolutely free until I think January the 1st. Do it quickly because I know it's for December. I don't know if it finishes on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. But there's free promotion for that. You can get the whole collection. It's got stories from lots of different writers and they're all similar and none of them are exactly the same. Join me next week if you have time, which will be on Christmas Day. And we will just have another very quick little chat because I know you're all going to be extra busy that day. If you can't wait until Monday to see me again, I understand. I will still be here every single morning in your shorts, doing a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for. And I'll also be here every Wednesday doing a Witchy Wednesday intuitive card reading for you. I'm not going to be taking a break over Christmas from that, and so I will still be here every day. Until then though, you have yourself a magical week.